Okay, wonderful. So welcome everybody. Excited to be here with every single one of you. Let's go ahead and go into information. Again, I'm going to fly through this information. You don't have to worry about taking too many notes, but I will tell you screenshot if you have to. We're going to have this in recordings for everybody to have. So let's go ahead and first of all, let's talk over what requires to have it. What is an income producing activity? I think it's important for every single one of us to understand what is an income producing activity. And here there are one-on-one presentations, 201 presentations, Zoom presentations and PBR, home meetings PBR, Zoom recording, sharing the links, a 3-minute video, a 10-minute video that we have out there as well. Acquiring a customer, launch with 20 invites. I think that's what a real launch has to. Going over the information, you have to at least send out 20 invitations, 3-way call, Zoom, promoting to the next event. Can we agree that at least if you're gonna look at this, you have to understand that we're gonna have to put some time into this, and in time to get a part-time individual, I consider a part-time individual between 15, 20, which is very normal in any business, 15, 20 hours versus full-time 40 plus hours. I say 40 plus IPAs too. If you're full-time, you have to have at least 8 IPAs a day, minimum. That's 8 income producing activities a day, minimum if you're full-time. If you're part-time, between 15 to 20 IPAs a week, maybe even more if you can time it. But here's what I can tell you on this. Whenever it comes to this, you have to schedule it in your schedule. If I can give you one bit of advice and you can remember anything what I tell you, schedule your GPS business in your calendar. Every single day, go in your calendar and put a block out an hour of time, a minimum hour of time, so you can what? You can do these right here, and you can start filling up the pipeline with prospect. The most important thing we do is prospect, and it's the most important thing to do, because if we don't fill up the pipeline with prospect, nothing happens. So let's go ahead and go into this information. Let's talk about how to go out there and create success with a PBR Zoom, because as we know, COVID-19, hey, let's face it, we're not able to do that many PBRs at home, so we have to go through PBRs, Zooms. And here's the question: is it smarter to spend 1 hour with one person or 1 hour with 100 people? And of course, some smart ass would say, well, David, depends on the person. I get it. Yes, it does depend on the person. However, we can agree that it's better to spend 1 hour with 100 people. Here's the second question: can one influencer let me ask you this: can one influencer do 4 PBRs a week? Can one influencer? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. One influencer can do 4 PBRs a week. That's 4 hours a week of actually doing a presentation and exposing people. Let's talk about everything that I'm going to talk about is going to fall around this right here. So one influencer doing 4 PBRs a week, and the average attending toward at least in my case, and I'm sure that there's other, you guys might have other systems, but let me tell you, in my case, the average guest attendance is about 4 guests. So if you have one influencer doing 4 PBRs a week, and the average attendance 4 guests, that's 16 exposures. 16 exposures. Here's what happens, okay? So let's say we have a 30% closing ratio. That's 5 new influencers coming in your business that week. Let's say 4 weeks times 500 BV. Every influencer that enters your business, that's 10,000 BV. That's what are we talked about? That is influencer 1,000. So if you have, let's say you're just getting started and you're doing this, and now your first month, you got to influencer 1,000 personally, but now you have 2 leaders doing the same thing as you. Can you get 2 people to buy into the vision and doing the same thing that you're doing? The answer is absolutely yes. You definitely can. Here's next. So if you have, now you have 20 new influencers in the left, 20 new influencers in the right. You have 2 leaders that are building 4 PBRs per week and doing the same thing you're doing. Here's what the math looks like. 2 influencers doing 2 PBRs a week times 4. The average PBR has 4 guests. That's 16 exposures at 30% closing ratio. 5 influencers getting started times 4 weeks. That's 20, 10,000 BV, what we saw that before. So that's working between 15 to 20 hours a week. Let's keep going in this example. Let's look at influencer 10K, because I think everybody here wants to be an influencer 10K. Can we agree on that? So let's look at the same example. By duplicating this, let's say that you duplicate, you have 20 leaders in the left and 20 leaders on the right, duplicating 4 PBRs per week. What does the math look like? And all this is part-time, guys. 20 influencers times 4 PBRs a week. The average PBR has 4 guests. That's 320 exposures a week. Closing ratio at 30%. You have a 96 new influencers entering your business that week. 4 weeks in a month, you're looking at 384 influencers, business partners entering your business in that one line, times 500, that's 192,000 in BV in each leg. If you do this in each leg, that's a top producing influencer 10K. You're doubling what you're supposed to do. I'm telling you, what does that mean? That means $20,000+ a month for you, and let's make some money. That's where we're here to impact lives and make some money. That's what that means. Let's think a little bigger. Let's look at influencers 75K. Influencers 75K. You have here, now let's say you have 100, you're duplicating this. You have 100 leaders on the left, 100 leaders on the right. Averaging 4 PBRs a week. Everybody's working 15 to 20 hours. This is all part-time still, guys. That's the crazy part about this. Doing that, let's look, 100 influencers on the left, 100 influencers on the right doing this, averaging 4 PBRs a week. Average guest is 4. That's 1,600 exposures in a single week. A closing ratio of 30%. That's 480 new influencers entering your business. Now times 4 weeks, that's 1,920 in influencers in the month. Times 500 BV, that's close to $1 million in BV, business volume, that's coming in your organization. You do that in 2 legs, you're an influencer of 75K. We're still talking part-time. That's $100,000+ per month. You want to make $100,000 a month? I don't know about you guys. In fact, I know about you guys. Everybody here. Mr. Danny Bay says, set a goal to become a millionaire, not for the money, for what the person that you have to become to achieve it. So that's why PBR Zooms are so important for us. If we can duplicate this system, let me tell you, what will happen in your organization? We're looking at millionaire status. We're looking at $100,000+ a week just by duplicating a simple system. Where does it start? It starts with you. It starts with you having 4 PBRs a week. 4 hours, guys. 4 hours. I have a PBR right after this. Like literally at 9 o'clock, I have a PBR. So that's 4 hours. 4 hours that a week of having PBRs. Look at this. So how do we do that? Let's talk about the logistics of what happens inside of a PBR Zoom. And we're talking about a Zoom, right? Here's the mindset. Here's number 1. The first thing you have to understand, you got to take 100% ownership of your business. If it has to be, it's up to me. This is something new. But you have to be willing to being comfortable to being uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable. So this is having Zoom PBRs is something new for all of us. We got to get, if this is uncomfortable for you, it's cool. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. 80% of your business, get this, 80% of your business is energy. 20% is skill. So people will be more impressed by the height of your and the depth of your knowledge. Remember, when you're inviting and you're presenting in this, is posture, urgency, strength of language is key. Be confident in your vision. Remember, people follow confidence of vision. Someone has to have that vision and be confident in that vision for this to work and for people to follow you. Let me give you a quick example how I invite. This is very quick. Again, I teach scripts, but I tell people, be you. Just be really excited and be confident and have posture. But let's say I was inviting my friend Yuli. Say, hey, hi Yuli. How are you doing? How are you doing during these times? I like to ask those questions because sometimes people during these times are not. They're weird times, right? So I ask them, hey, how are you doing during this time? If I was to call you my friend Yuli. And I say, hey, Yuli will tell me, hey, man, David, I'm doing great, weird times indeed, but everything's going great. And I'll say, hey, Yuli, I want to ask you a question. Are you currently working on any side business projects? It doesn't matter what he tells me. He tells me yes, he tells me no. If he tells me yes, I say, hey, what are you working on? If he tells me no, I'll say, perfect. Listen, I'm launching the biggest business project of my life. I'm dealing on virtual reality. This is going to be the biggest thing I've ever done. And then I ask the question, are you in a position to analyze the business project? You see, this is all about posture and confidence. And then I would say, hey, can you be available at 7 p.m. to go over the details tomorrow with me? And then he says, and then I always finish that way. Trust me, with everything that's going on in the economy, you're going to want to see this. The reality is, guys, people need to wake up. Here's the truth, and I'm telling you, the United States printing trillions of dollars. If we don't make this work, we're all in trouble, because the United States is printing trillions of dollars. That means that inflation in the next 18, 20 months, look at Venezuela. That's exactly what's going to happen here unless we take care of our families. So we have to make this work. So that's the type of urgency that I'm talking to people when I'm inviting to this thing. So 3 parts to a PBR Zoom: before, during, and after. Let's go over this really quick. Okay, I got 5 minutes. Here we go. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. Okay, before, during, and after. Here's the first thing. Before. As a host, you want to be early to your PBR Zoom. Make sure you have a good internet connection and you are in a quiet place in your home to run your home-based business. We don't want kids around. We don't want dogs barking in the background. Trust me, I have 5 kids and I have pets. I got bunnies running around, but I don't want them distracting me, and I don't want anything distracting my PBR Zoom. Okay, as people are entering the PBR Zoom, you want to welcome them. So as people are entering the Zoom, right, like we're doing right now, I would say, hey, Mr. Michael, welcome. Glad to have you here. Mr. Marc, thank you so much for being here. We're going to get started shortly. So you want to be able to do that. Let me give you an example. Here's a script for you, just to, again, I teach script, but be you. I would say, hey, welcome, Julie, how you doing? Hey, Richard, how you doing? Hey, excited you can make it here. We're going to get started in the next 5 to 8 minutes. Let's make sure you can hear me. Turn on your camera so I can see your pretty face. I want you to treat this Zoom as if it's just you and me having a personal conversation. You want to have something to take notes on. So what I'm doing, I'm framing the importance of this. Okay, so do this as people are entering your Zoom PBR. You want their camera turned on to see who is engaged and who's not during the Zoom. This will give you an idea on who are the most interested people to call first after the Zoom. Okay, but just a side note. Let's continue on this. Okay, your welcoming opening messages. This is one of the most important parts of your PBR Zoom. Your people will be attracted to your confidence, enthusiasm, vision, and second, your edification of your upline speaker is key. Let's go over this real quick. So I will say something like this. Hey, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you all. As you know, we share this a little bit of story. As you know, some of you might know, I've been looking for a business to run with so I can help others pay for my daughter's education and have security in a retirement. I found something that has me completely blown away. You came to mind because of the person that you are. We're launching this project and we're looking for a few key people that can buy into this vision of building a big business, maybe even a multi-million-dollar business. Using a business platform is changing the face of home-based business and marketing. I want to tell you, hold a question to the very end. I want to introduce you to all of you, my business partner, Mr. Richard Elsey. He's an entrepreneur with experience creating results and then passion for helping others. Pay really close attention to what he has to say because I have a lot of respect for this individual. Okay, so that right there, what you just did, you're opening up the Zoom for people and for your people and creating that posture. Again, that's a script. You can read it if you like. You can put it in front of you. And by the way, if you're nervous, that's okay. Have something to read and just let them know, hey guys, I'm a little nervous. I've never done this before, so I'm gonna read. I wrote something for you guys, and I'm gonna read it. That's actually more duplicatable than anything. If you tell people, I'm gonna read this, and you go like this and you read, hey man, I'm really excited for you guys to be here. Just read it with passion and enthusiasm. And then I say, hey, here's notes for you. During the Zoom PBR, you wanna make sure your camera's on and you're sitting in front of it engaged. Okay, remember, your people will be able to see you. If you look engaged in the Zoom, they will do the same. If you're standing up and multitasking, they will do the same. Multitasking during your PBR takes away from the importance of the vision you want them to follow you on, okay? So if I'm in PBR, my Zoom PBR, I wanna be engaged. I wanna be taking notes. I wanna be bobbing my head. I wanna be engaged. If you hear background noise during the PBR Zoom, find out who's not to mute it and mute them. So don't, you know, you can be engaged like that. You know, if I have a Zoom PBR and I hear Mr. Michael speak, and I hear somebody, and Mr. Michael does it all the time. I mean, you guys don't even know. Sometimes it gets unmuted and Mr. Danny Bay's speaking and Mr. Michael is there muting people. That's what we do. So make sure you're gonna do the same. After the PBR Zoom, here's what's gonna happen. Your upline support will pass it back to you for final words. This is the time to display confidence, urgency, and vision. Again, I remember you can read this kind of stuff. You don't have to memorize it. You can read. Don't worry about this. But here's another script that I use that I teach people. Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Elsie, for that amazing explanation. Guys, you can see why I'm so excited. This company's on the path of explosive growth. I want you all to partner with me. I want you all. I called you for a reason. And the fact that you're seeing this is no accident. As you saw in the overview, I have 2 spots where we will be building $1 million business from. The first 2 people that partner up will get those spots, and we will help you build 50% of your business, because we will automatically be building down. But you have to jump on board right now, because we're having our next meeting for everyone else. However, I wanted you to see this before I call my other contacts. Thank you, and I'll be calling you all after this to answer any questions and helping those of you that are ready to get started. So again, you can read this. It's just fine. But you want to be able to let people know your intention. Hey, I want you guys to partner up with me. I want you guys to do this. Then now that you follow up in webinar, follow up individually with each person and ask them the questions. When you ask them, hey, what did you think? No. You ask them, hey, what did you like most? They tell you, David, I like the VR. The VR technology is cool. Do you see an opportunity for yourself to make money with me in virtual reality in this company? Whatever they tell you, oh, David, I like the money. Do you see your opportunity for yourself to make money? Oh, David, I like the leadership. Oh, do you see an opportunity to yourself to join our leadership and make money? Oh, David, I like the timing of the company. Oh, do you see an opportunity for yourself to jump in the timing and capitalize on the timing of this company? So whatever it is they tell you, do you see an opportunity for yourself? Schedule a follow-up meeting with the people that have questions with your upline, just one upline, team support, and promote the next event. Okay? And that's it. Success. You won. This is the way to schedule a PBR Zoom and have success with this. Again, it's systematic, it's organized. I actually have this slides, and I can if Mr. An wants me to, with his permission, I can post it somewhere for everybody to have, and you guys can have this and be able to. But more importantly, let's do it ourselves. Let's apply it ourselves and then start duplicating that for others. So that's my time. Thank you very much for having me and for allowing me to share with you my experience and the things that have worked in the past. I'm going to go ahead and pass it up to a gentleman that we all know, we all love. He's soon to be becoming a legend in this industry and just doing incredible things. I literally talk to him every single day and say, I feel blessed. So Mr. Marc Isaac, the call's to you. Thank you. Let me unmute you.
There we go. Mr. David, first of all, thank you so much for just taking time and putting those slides together, sharing with us what has helped you build a successful business in this industry. And, just talking to you every day gets me pumped up, and I can't wait to visit Dallas, tag team with you, do an event out there very soon. And just want to thank you so much for your leadership. So, first of all, if you guys can, on the chat section below, just say thank you, or just put some fire emojis, do something to share your gratitude to Mr. David, because I'm excited to have a chance to go after him. And then after my part, I'm going to have an opportunity to bring up Mr. Michael on to close it out. And first of all, I do want to welcome every single person for qualifying today at our leadership. And, it's always good to see every single person that are stepping up and helping people get promoted. I see Mr. Jeremy, good to see you, sir. I watch your training all the time, man, with Pico and everything you do. Thank you very much. If you guys see, Mr. Ken has like the sickest background. That's not a virtual background. That's actually, it's like strips of light and it looks sick. So it's really, really cool. And, Mr. King Louis, oh man, that's an awesome name, King. I love that. So, you know, it's always good to see everybody's face, and I can't wait for us to get together and do an event and meet each other in person instead of just through Zoom, right? And, you know, I'm excited because I get to talk about, you know, leadership topics. And, you know, being on a leadership topic like this, one thing that I always had a conversation with my mentor, and he always told me this. He said, Mark, could I always give you, can I tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear? Because the reality is that the goal is, in leadership trainings like this, it's not to feel good. It's so you can become good in this business and make money. And, you know, so that being said, I do want to talk about what is leadership and what is a real leader that we're all looking for. You know, first of all, a leader knows what they want. You know, a leader that comes into your business and joins your organization, they're going to go to the top with or without you. And if you could help them, they will use your help to get to where they're going to go. You know, the reality is that it's a lot easier to find leaders than to make someone become the leader, to persuade them, to push them, to help them make those decisions. And I learned this because a good friend of mine, her name is Kay out in Dallas, you know, she actually trains Southwest Airlines employees. And I said this before at a training, you know, I asked her, like, how do you have so many people that work for you, that you train, that are so nice? And she told me, he's like, Mark, I don't teach them how to be nice. I just find nice people and I hire nice people. And it's the same thing with leadership. You know, it's easier to find a leader than to convince, persuade, and explain why someone needs to be the leader and step up to the plate. So, you know, how do you know if you found a leader? How do you know if you found someone in your organization? Well, first, you have to understand that, you know, a leader is someone that contributes to the environment. A follower is someone that takes away. You know, a leader, they're the ones that say, hey, you know what? I realize that there needs to be more excitement and more energy. And guess what? They're the energy giver, but followers, they're energy takers. And so you have to ask yourself, are you working with the energy givers? Are you looking for the people that are contributing to the environment that say, hey, if there's an opportunity, let me know. I'm here to step up. I don't care about being perfect. I'll progress and I'll get good. That's their attitude. That's the type of mentality that you want to find in your organization. You know, see, but a leader understands that they're going to have problems. So they're not here to fix the problem necessarily, but they understand what John Maxwell teaches is that, you know, managers, they find a solution, but leaders, true leaders, they find momentum. They're building momentum. That's what they want. Momentum is a leader's best friend. You know, the reality is this, is that when you start seeing people hit ranks, make a lot of money, they see a lot of success, they have a big following, it's because they have momentum, okay? And the lack of it can make a leader look worse than what they really are. There's some talented people, but they just don't have momentum. So I want you to write this down. You're one recruit away. You're one recruit away from massive momentum. You're one recruit away from massive momentum. You know, some of you don't realize that the next person you talk to could be the momentum that you're asking for. Some of you don't even understand, but I remember in my career, I remember going through 34 rejections in a row, not of people that I was inviting to see a presentation. No, 34 people that saw the presentation that rejected me, and 34 in a row. I was demotivated at the beginning, but I realized leaders always focuses on momentum. They're not worried. They're not emotional about the rejections. They're not emotional about the no's. They know they're one recruit away from massive momentum. And that one recruit that came into my business took me to the next level, and our group started breaking records. So every single person on this call, just know you're one recruit away from massive momentum. And that being said, I do want to share with you a few things to piggyback off what Mr. David talked about, because I really believe that having PBRs, you know, whether it's in person or whether you're going to do it in a Zoom conference call like this, you know, the reality is that the more meetings you have, you're going to generate more money, more production, and you're going to have more results. So, but I want to share with you something that I listened to today when I was just doing just a few personal development, but you know, I don't do too much of it, but I mastered the basics, which is Jim Rohn. And he talked about the power of focus. You know, and that's what I want to talk to you about, is how can you maximize the results with all these events that's happening right now. You know, what's crazy is this. If you actually take an example of a 100-watt light bulb versus a 100-watt laser, same energy, but what's the difference? A laser can cut through steel, but a light bulb will just bright up a room. See, why is a 100-watt laser so much more powerful? Is because they're able to focus its energy. See, Jim Rohn says it the best. He says, wherever you are, be there. You know, what does that mean? It means that, you know, when Mr. David was talking about a few of the housekeepings you want to have when you're hosting your own meetings, you know, the reality is this, is that if this was an in-person event, if it was an event in your city, if this was an event and with a guest speaker like Mr. David Nieves or Mr. Michael, and that was a guest speaker at your city and an event that you're running, we can all agree we would be 100% focused. We wouldn't be, you know, doing certain things that could distract us from the information that can change our life. You know, so what I'm talking about is this, is when it comes to, for example, we're going to do two different things. One is going to be, we're going to talk about weekly events and Saturday training. You know, what do you want to have when it comes to the weekly events and at the Saturday training? You want to be present, okay? You want to be present. You want to have your videos on, whether it's trainings like this, whether you're plugging into an event, you know, your weekly event. I know there's a lot of people right now on this call that does Tuesday events and Thursday events. But even at those local events that you have that's being done by by time zone, you want to have your videos on. You know, why do you want to have your videos on? Because simply understand that your team will do what you do in excess. Your team will do what you do in excess. You know, if you're focused, you're attentive, you're not doing anything else, your team's going to do the same thing. You know, I learned this because I see, you know, I remember if you're going to, you know, it's so funny, like if a leader has a team and if a leader, you know, goes on a 1 day or 2 day vacation, their team will do it in excess. They'll go for like 2-3 weeks, you know, but if you're attentive, if you are taking notes, if you have your journals out, if you're paying attention to the information, your prospects, your new influencers will take this information more seriously. You know, it's so convenient, but sometimes that could be our kryptonite. You know, that could be something that holds us back. You know, are you glad things are easier, that you can now do it from the comfort of your own home? Or are you getting better? Are you applying the things that you can do in person, but on a virtual setting? You know, are you turning your videos on? Because the reality is this, is that you're looking for the next leader. See, every time we're doing trainings like this, you know, I hope you know myself and all the other influencers on this call that are the top positions, we're seeing who's the ones taking notes. Who's the ones that is really focused, that's really dialed in. Because why? Let me ask you this, if you're an influencer 10K, if you're an influencer 100K, if you're an influencer 200K, would you spend majority of your time with anybody, or would you want to spend your time with the right people? You know, let me explain something that I've learned and heard very recently. The number one priority of a leader is not to create more followers, it's to find more leaders, okay? So leaders on this call, again, this is a leadership call. We're looking, we're sorting, because you gotta find who's the ones that's serious. You know, take notes. And you know the reason why this is so crucial? You know, it's so amazing because we just launched GPS here on June 1st, but I've been in the industry for 10 years. And, you know, just recently what I've been doing is I busted out the journal of when I first started my network marketing journey. You know, this journal that I have right here, this is my journal right now. This is the journal that I started with. And you know what's crazy? If anything happened in my life, I said to myself, hey, if I lost my home, if I lost everything, I can just bust this out and I could follow it step by step, the blueprints of what helped me get to where I was. So the reality is this, is that, are you documenting your success? Are you creating your success story? Are you jotting these notes down so you're able to review it? Because again, you're not here to find the tricks of the trade. There's no tricks to get to the top. You got to master the basics. You got to master the basics. Leaders master the basics. Amateurs and beginners try to find tricks of the trade. They try to find the shortcuts. You know, it's so funny because, you know, so many people, how many people can agree? No one likes a get rich quick program, right? Have you ever met people that say, is that one of those get rich quick programs, right? And you say no, but then they get started and they get upset that they didn't get rich in 30 days and quit, right? It's so funny. Everybody doesn't want to be part of a get rich quick program, but they can't wait 30 days or 60 days to get results. And they stop because they're not patient. They don't understand what is in store. So the reality is this, is when you're taking notes, what do you want to take notes on? If you're brand new, take notes how to present. Take notes how to give a testimonial. Listen to the testimonials. How are they transitioning from, this slide to this slide? Just like Mr. David said, he's talking about all the scripts of what to say, but the best way to learn this business is actually seeing people do it. Is actually being around people and watching it yourself. You know what's amazing? I remember the best training that I've ever gotten was spending time with Mr. Danny Bay. The best training I've had was spending time with Mr. Michael. When I'm spending time with them, I see their work ethic. I remember I went to Japan to spend time with Mr. Danny Bay, and this individual is an animal, like a robot. Like we went to bed at 2. He's like, what time do you want to meet up, Mark? I know you want to work out. Let's wake up at 6 because I got a meeting at 7. And I'm like, let's go. And to see that got me to realize the leader that I'm following. He inspires me not by his words. He inspires me not by his success. He inspires me by living his life. So I'm saying this because, you want to take notes of how people are doing certain things. How are they saying certain things? Maybe you could even review on notes that you take so you can eventually be the one presenting. My mentor told me this: if you're not the one in the front of the room, or if you're not the one on the main screen here on videos, then you got to keep taking notes. You got to keep being a student. And that takes a lot of humility to take notes and to learn. And that's why I respect so many individuals I'm working with right now, because they don't look at, for example, even myself they don't look at myself for my age. They look at because of all the things that I've learned from my mentors, and I'm just the messenger. So take notes. What you should also do that I believe is so important is this. I believe no matter how good you are, and by the way, no matter how good you get, you're always going to be better with a mentor. I don't care if you are the best speaker. If you have a mentor, they can see things that you can't see. It's just like working out. It doesn't matter if you could hit a record by yourself. If you had a spotter, if you had someone that was going to help you, you could go a little bit more. So you want to take notes and you want to have that accountability. It's not a negative thing. It's actually a great thing. If that's your goal, is to be a success. And so I remember what I do all the time. Every time, you guys understand, even till today, 10 years later, Mr. Michael asked me, hey, how was the event today? I know the numbers, and I send him the numbers. I send him the head count of how many people are at an East Coast event, how many people are at a Central event, how many people are at a West Coast event, how many people are at a Hawaii event. Like you gotta send your numbers to your uplines. Why? Why is this so crucial? Is when you are accountable, it gets you to perform at a different level. When you're accountable, your mentors can also see what you need to improve on and what you need to do in order for you to be able to go out there and increase your numbers, to increase your goal. So it's so crucial. It's so important for you to really focus on that. And how do you want to do it? Is you want to make sure that you want to focus on mastering power hours. Okay. It doesn't matter all the things that you do, but if you can get good at power hours and using this to promote for events, to plug people to the leaderships, to plug people to the Saturday trains, to plug people to the Tuesday, the Thursday events, you got to master that. And what is a power hour? For 1 hour, it's an all-out blitz. For 1 hour, it's you and your team getting on a call like this. If you can't meet in person, set up a Zoom link, have a few people together, 5, 10 people, help people do 3-way calls. Act as if you're all meeting up in person. Make sure that you set appointments. I would say like, hey, Yuli, when do you want to do your personal PBR? When do you want to do a Zoom presentation just for you and your team? Boom, put it in the books. That's what it means by getting productive. I'll be like, hey, Mr. Ken, when do you want to do your next PBR? Boom, perfect. I'm going to do that PBR. Let's start inviting for it. This is one thing that I've realized is that every time my mentors, they would rent out hotel rooms and we would meet up and we would actually make calls together, and events would always look packed and look good. The same thing here with GPS, same thing here virtually. When you set these up, it's an all-out blitz. It's for 1 hour you focus, not making a list, no, making calls. It's setting up appointments. If they can make it to an event, when's the soonest that you can do a presentation? So we can set that up right now. Like, you want to use that 1 hour slot to get as much invites and as much presentations and events and meetings set up than you would by yourself. You know, the reality is, don't rely on your team to do it themselves. It's our job as Influencer 100s and above to lead the team that we have. It's to make sure that every single person that's an Influencer 100 knows that next 2 weeks is to get more Influencer 100s in their team to the actual trainings just like this. You know, so, you know, maximize that. And if the power hour is going well, I remember my mentor would do a power hour with me. Then they would say, hey, Mark, I'm going to be right back. Let's meet up in 30 minutes. Let's do another call in 30 minutes. And we would get back and do another hour blitz. Because it's not how much hours you put into your business, it's what you do within the hour. It's what you put into the hour. It's what are you doing that's productive, that's really putting in the results and the successes that you want. So that being said, you know, right after this is what I encourage every single person to do, because we have 7 days left before July ends. We have our final Saturday training tomorrow. We have one more Tuesday event and one more Thursday event for anybody that has those local events that are happening through Zoom, okay? My question for you is, what level are you running for? And what's your plan? What position are you gonna hit by the end of the month? Anything can change in 7 days. And so that being said, the call to action is this: set up a PBZ right after this. Let your mentor know, text them, you know, text them. Number 2, set up a power hour right after this. You know, set up a power hour right after this. Set up a time, set up a Zoom link, invite certain people on the call. And it's not about training, it's about getting to work. We don't need any more training when it comes to what you learn here on this call. It's about putting everything you learn on this call and putting it into action. You know, set up a PBZ, set up a power hour, and start promoting. Promote. Help people with 3-way calls if needed. Help people if they're not seeing success in inviting. Perfect. Let them pass the phone to you or pass the call or do a 3-way call. I'll be like, hey, Mr. David, I'm going to call this person. I'm going to 3-way you in real quickly, and then talk to the person and set an appointment up with everyone on the line. I'm telling you this, you have to maximize these power hours, because it's what has helped every big event that I've had in my career be maximized, get the most amount of results, and see the most amount of success. So that being said, set your PBZ, set up your power hour, and make sure you send those times to your uplines so they can jump on those if they're available, so they can help you. They can help you get to work. They can help you set these meetings, and they can help you set these appointments. So that being said, guys, I'm excited now to have a chance to pass the call to, of course, the master influencer here in the United States, an individual that's spearheading this company to $1 billion and beyond. Mr. Michael, thank you so much, and I'm going to pass the call to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Marc Isaac. What an incredible training this has been so far by Mr. Marc Isaac, as well as Mr. David Nieves. Both of them have incredible experience in the industry and always leads by example every single day. But because we're short in time, I want to quickly go into my topic and piggyback on what Mr. Marc Isaac said, because I know there's a lot of new Influencer 100s and above on this call, and you might not know exactly what a power hour is. And I want to remind you guys, like Mr. Marc said, within that 1 hour, you can get so much done if you put focus on it. And I want you to understand, all a power hour is we get together with a group of people, or on Zoom, like Marc Isaac said, and within that 1 hour, it's called all out massive action, focus on only one thing: recruiting and following up. Recruiting and following up. Whether you're text messaging, whether you're making 3-way calls like Mr. Marc Isaac said, or you're personally inviting, but making sure you're tracking the actual numbers. So let's just say, as an example, right? I got together, whether it's on Zoom, okay, or in person, with David Nieves, Miss Miranda, Marc Isaac, Mr. Dan Nobles, Steve Young, and Angel Cuevas. Let's just say there's 5 of us, right? And within that 1 hour, we're gonna make a goal. So let's just say here is Miss Miranda. Here is David. Here is Marc Isaac. Here is Mr. Dan Nobles. Here's Steve, and here's Angel, and here is me. It's basically simple. We could create competition. It does not matter. And we make a goal. Let's just say today was Monday. And depending on the time zone, we're going for a Tuesday night event we're promoting for. And that's the time we all got together and we all commit for 1 hour. No text messaging friends for any other thing. It's 100% focus on GPS. GPS, like I said, on inviting, okay, recruiting, and following up. And let's just say we all decided we're inviting for the 7 p.m. meeting that's going on. And we're all going to commit and focus. We're going to have our list ready. And if you don't have a whiteboard, it could be on a piece of white notepad paper too. And I'm going to be like, all right, every time there's an appointment, we're going to put a check mark and their person's name down on it. So let's just say Marc goes, okay, I got Sam, who for sure said he could be on tonight or tomorrow's event. Okay, here's Sam. And David goes, awesome, Mike. I got John who could get on tomorrow for sure. Awesome, you got John, cool, man. Oh, and then you know somebody else goes, oh, you got Steve that could get on. That's good. All right, you got Jessica that could get on. That's good. Okay, you could get Joe on. Okay, that's good. And we keep putting check marks. And within that 1 hour, whether it was 3-way calls, text messages, a follow-up, what would happen if Miranda committed and she got total 11 guests for tomorrow? David goes, man, I got 13 for tomorrow. Marc goes, man, I have 7 for tomorrow. Dan goes, hey, I got 3 for tomorrow. It's all good, Dan. And if people get to see leaders step up, they're all competing now. Steve goes, hey, I got 17 for tomorrow. Holy cow, good job, Steve. You're going to kill this thing. And Angel goes, oh, I got 18. And I go, damn, sorry, guys. I only have 2, right? It's okay. And then you track the numbers. Okay, there's 11. 13, that's 24, 31, okay, there's 34, okay, that's 51, okay, that's 69, okay, dude, we got 71 appointments between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us for tomorrow. We could easily do the math. There's 50% flake ratio. We know we're gonna have 30, 40 exposures for that event between 5 of us. I'll tell you a quick story. When I got started in network marketing, I remember my first big team PBR, meaning we had an office, we were going to in Irvine every time for meetings, but it was my first expansion like an hour away. It's the one where I told the story before. I had to do my own presentation because my leader who was supposed to come and speak that day couldn't speak because his wife was giving birth. It's that funny story. Long story short, I knew we were going to kill it. I told you guys we had 90 something guests because between the 5 of us and the expansion leaders and all the other markets that knew somebody in that market had guest confirmation. We had about 200 appointments set for that one event, okay? And it was 50% flake ratio, 90 something guests showed up and a bunch of people signed up, but it was predictable. It was predictable because we knew for a fact within that 1 power hour that we did as a team nationwide, wherever you are, we're expanding to that area, we got numbers from everybody. In this way, here's what's important. You want to make sure, okay, you have the actual guest confirmation and you give it to your uplines for 2 reasons. Number 1, so they can assume how many people are going to be on that private Zoom, if it's a private Zoom, or for a bigger event that we're doing in time zones. But more importantly, this is what's so important where we could help you track your numbers to see, hey, if you have worse than 50% flake ratio, maybe it's the invitation or maybe an upline leader needs to a confirmation call. So let me give you an example of what the confirmation call is. Let's just say Miranda says, hey, for tomorrow, I have 11 guests. I'm gonna be like, okay, Miranda, who's the 11 guests? Okay, give me their names, shoot me a text, and give me their phone numbers. This is how you improve your guest count, okay? And just tell me a quick background about them, what they do for work. And she goes, well, tomorrow the person that could be on, her name is Yolanda. She was a police officer that moved to California now. She's into security work, and she has a ton of network. Okay, awesome. She said she could get on at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Perfect. All right. So before the event, I could give Yolanda a confirmation call. I could call Yolanda and say, hey, Yolanda, how are you? My name is Michael on. I got your number from Miss Miranda Alicia. You're a good friend of hers, and you have security background, and you have a huge network, and you currently live in California. Is that you? And she goes, yes, that's me. Awesome. Listen, I'm just giving you a call to make sure that you know about our call today. You have a private meeting. You have a meeting with one of the top expansion leaders in this area. His name is Mr. David Nieves. I just wanted to give you a call to make sure to be on at least 5-10 minutes before the call. Even though there's going to be quite a few people, make sure on that Zoom you have your camera turned on, okay? And be in a setting where there's no distractions and you could take some notes, because Mr. David Nieves is going to be looking for some of the leaders who could work with us for this expansion, and he's going to be seeing who pays the most attention and who looks qualified and who looks serious. You know, if we get confirmation calls like that, right, it can make the ratio go up. And guess what? Yolanda will either tell me, yes, I could get on, or be like, oh, I can't get on. Then I can make sure as the upline leader, we could rearrange and set up another appointment and follow up. Or guess what? When Yolanda gets on, she's going to be like, oh, I got a call from somebody, not my friend, from somebody else. I'm going to make sure I have a notepad. Okay, I'm going to make sure I have my camera on, and she's going to pay more attention. So if you don't give us your numbers and who's going to be on, it's almost impossible to track numbers, especially because this is Zoom setting now. You know, if it was personal meetings, of course it's a little different, but we got to master this as a Zoom, as an organization, and get very good at giving your upline guest counts. And if you need help for the confirmation calls, just let your uplines know. Just let your uplines know. And you could even tell your guests, oh, by the way, tomorrow, somebody from the company might give you a call to reconfirm the appointment. You know, it does not matter, but it is so important, whether it's the power hour you did with the team, or when you're inviting and making sure people know this is a serious meeting. A webinar, even though it's on a Zoom, you got to learn how to edify it the right way and make people know that meeting could change their life. That Zoom meeting and the people they're going to connect with has 100% of the information how they could build an online business and make an absolute fortune in the VR, AR technology and some of the things we're going to be doing. So let me cover my topic real quickly, okay? And how this is very important, okay? And mine is about making sure you follow up and making sure people get multiple exposure. So right now, if you take a look at the calendar, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you know, we got Friday and we got Saturday and Sunday, obviously Sunday, okay? And every team does it a little differently. I know, for example, Mr. Robert Griffin's team, they have a meeting every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Central Time. You know, I know Mr. Thomas Berry's team, they have Tuesdays and, you know, Thursday in the evenings in the East Coast time. Some of the other teams here, right now have Tuesdays and Thursdays in East Coast time, 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Central Time Zone, and 7 p.m. Pacific Time Zone, and Hawaii has their own system as well. So let me talk in general, okay? So let's just say you have a Tuesday, 7 p.m., okay? Thursday, 7 p.m., okay? Monday, let's just say you're doing PBZs all day, okay? Private Zoom meetings. It doesn't matter, all day, PBZ. Friday, PBZ, sometimes the leadership meeting, PBZ. Okay, let me share with you how to master using event to event and enroll them in the process and enroll them in the system so the system can go to work for you. Okay, so let's just say you had Monday PBZs. Okay, every single influencer and every single guest that saw this meeting, while you are already doing those private Zoom meetings, you got to let them know about your Tuesday, as an example, group event by time zone, okay? And the key to that is edifying the leader who is gonna present. Hey, you thought, let's just say you have someone who just got started and her name was Miss Carla, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, you thought the information you saw today was good, Carla? Wait until you hear tomorrow we have our own event at 7 p.m. Central Time. This is focused on the expansion of Texas, focused on the expansion of Oklahoma, focused on the expansion of the Central Time Zone right now. And there's a big leader. I'm telling you, this gentleman who's going to be speaking tomorrow, he is in charge of all of the expansion in the Central Time Zone. When you hear him explain the business, Oh my goodness, you are gonna freak out and get jacked up. You're not gonna sleep for the next 7 days. When you hear this guy named Mr. David Nieves, I'm telling you, get ready. You're gonna have GPS insomnia. You thought today was good? Hey, tomorrow, we need to impress him, okay? I'm gonna help you invite some people, but more importantly, okay, make sure your camera's on, okay? Make sure you have something to take notes on, because when you see this, oh my gosh, it's game over. You're gonna be jacked out of your mind. So you're getting that person who, whether they joined or not joined, enrolled to the Tuesday event, now they'll see, oh, there was more people than the private meeting we had with 4 or 5 people on it. Oh wow, there's 30 people on. Oh wow, there's 50 people on. Oh wow, there's 100 people on. This thing must be way bigger than I thought. And guess what? They're gonna hear different testimonies. They're gonna hear from different leaders. And you know what you do on Tuesday after that, as an example? With all the influencers that got started, with all the people, you enroll them to the private Zoom meetings now. Everyone's gonna have a private Zoom meeting. Hey, just like the meeting you attended on Monday with Miss Miranda, where we had like 5 people, we're gonna do a personal meeting just for you. And with all the people, whether they joined or not, whether they're on the fence or not, guess what you do now? You're promoting for Thursday. You're promoting for Thursday super hard. And some of you might be like, it's the same thing. Dude, it's the same thing every meeting, but the more they see it and the more they get exposed to it, the more they're enrolling themselves in the process and learning this is not that difficult. And guess what? We do the same thing on Friday, but it's also called Follow-Up Friday. All Follow-Up Friday means, okay, is throughout the whole week, Sunday through Friday, every single person that joined, every single influencers that's already in the system, every single guest, you're following up and making it the biggest deal on Saturday, because throughout the whole week, what are we doing when majority of the people are asking questions? What about this? What about that? All the answers to the question you're asking is going to be answered on Saturday training. You thought this was exciting? This Saturday, it's a nationwide training. You're going to hear people from the East Coast. You're going to hear from people in the Central Time Zone. You're going to hear from the West Coast leadership. I'm telling you right now, the information you're going to be getting Saturday is going to be so mind-blowing. Oh my gosh. By the time it's over, you're going to get it. By the time it's over, you're going to have an aha moment. By the time it is over, you're going to be ready to run through a wall because you're going to be jacked out of your mind. Holy cow. When I attended my training, it was game over. But when I attended it with every single person on my team and my team understood it, my team just exploded out of control. That's called using event to event to event to event and enrolling them in the process. It's like dating. Guys, you don't just, from the first day you meet somebody, I know it's rare, you don't go, you want to be my girlfriend. No, you date. You date. You date. You take them out to dinner. You take them out to the movies. You take them, it's a process, right? Same thing in this business. It's a process. But you got to commit right now that you're going to treat this business like a business. You know what I love about network marketing? It's not about can or can't. It's about will or won't. See, everything Mr. David went over. Will you do it or won't you do it? It's not can or can't. Everyone can. It's a decision. Will you do it? Turning on a camera, for example. It's a choice. Now, unless you're at work and you're really in an environment you can't, but you just wanted to plug in, that I understand. But it's not that difficult to take notes. It's not that difficult to turn on the camera. It's not that difficult to stay plugged into the system, because for every one of you, you don't know when your time is going to come. See, every meeting like this, every Tuesday meeting, Thursday meeting, PBZ, Saturday training, it's the same information. But if you stay plugged into the system, eventually you're going to have a light bulb go in your head and be like, holy cow, I just had an aha moment. We call it an aha moment. I'm telling you, it is so simple. I can't believe by just doing this, what I talked about, using the events and getting good at power hours, getting good at making sure PBZs are set up, that I made 6 figures my first 12 months in network marketing without being the real presenter. I just took full advantage of the system, but it's up to all of us to get sold out on the system. What if you never, ever had to go back to work from 2021 because all of you got 100% sold out and said, you know what? I'm gonna master the system by first getting committed and staying plugged in myself and getting good at getting my team staying plugged in. For reals, what would happen if you never had to go back to work in 2021 by making sure you commit for the second half of this year? I'm gonna be 100% committed to the system. I'm gonna be 100% coachable. I'm gonna be 100% teachable. I'm gonna 100% stay plugged in and get my team plugged in. And what if you never had to work again next year and just do this full time? Would you do it? 100% of you will say you would do it. That's how much you gotta get sold out. So the final thing I'll share with you guys is this. Next Friday, okay? Next Friday, as you guys see here, I'm sorry, I'm horrible with technology, right? We're gonna be having a global virtual training event, US, Korea, and Japan. Mr. Danny Bay has some major announcements as well. For all of us, it's gonna be July 31st. We're gonna remind you guys again tomorrow, okay? But it's gonna be at 10 p.m. Eastern time, 9 p.m. Central time, 7 p.m., 4 p.m. Hawaii time, where we're gonna have a global event with GPS, okay? We'll send you all of this tomorrow, but like I said about promoting event and using event-to-event exposure, make sure every single one of you guys, okay? Every single one of you guys, for the next 7 days, as we close out this month, take full advantage of the event system and make sure that every one of you promote this the hardest. Tomorrow's our final training, just like Mr. Marc Isaac said. I'm telling you guys right now, follow-up Friday. We're gonna end early, so every one of you, regardless if it was your personal guest or your team's guest, start following up with them right now, edify tomorrow's event, promote tomorrow's event, and get everybody on the webinar, and let's create massive momentum next 7 days, closing out this month with the $500 bonus. So I'm jacked out of my mind. I can't wait until ball out of control for all of you guys. It's gonna be fun, where we travel the world and start doing events all over the United States market, being the pioneers. So guys, I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys got something out of it. Let's make it happen, and we'll see you guys all on Saturday training. Have a great night, guys.